Hello everybody and welcome to English Grammar with Ameya sir, and we are going to study the part 2 of the unit 3.2. Earlier in the last lecture we dealt with the part 1 of this and we agreed that we will divide it into two parts. So the one that we are going to study today is all about the Gond art. If you have not watched the part 1, I strongly recommend that you go ahead and watch the part 1, and then when you are ready you can come back to this one and watch the part 2. Okay, so we are going to study about the Gond art and let's get started with it. The first paragraph, give me your 100% undivided attention, as I always say. Gond art is a tribal art. It has been developed and preserved by the Gond tribal people, largely residing in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Odisha states of India. From their traditional tales and mythology, we learn that they have lived in India for thousands of years, even before the other inhabitants came here. The Gondi language is similar to Telugu, a Dravidian language. Guys, I am very sure that I am not probably the first one to introduce you to this Gond art. I'm sure you've heard of this before, or maybe you might have read about it in the newspapers, seen some exhibitions. I don't know. It's a very popular art form. I will be surprised if you are new to this. In this lesson, in this section, however, we will learn it a little more in detail as to how did it originate and what are what is the language that the tribe people speak, what are the states where it's hugely popular, etc. And of course, some examples of Gondar. We saw that it is popular particularly in some states like Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Odisha. And the language is the Gondi language, and it resembles Telugu, which is a Dravidian language. What is mythology? It's a collection of old cultural and religious stories. That's mythology. Inhabitants are the residents, the people who stay at a particular place. Dravidian is a family of languages spoken in southern India. Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, those are the states, are Dravidian states. They speak a language which is very different from the Hindustani. All right, now there is something interesting in the language study section, and it's about the words where S makes the Z sound. I repeat, sometimes S makes the Z sound, essentially, and these are the words. Look at the first one, preserve. It's not preserve, okay? President. It's always the president of India, not president, okay? Houses. Imagine the spelling was like Z-I-Z, houses. Then you have disease and you have reside. So always remember that there are such words where S makes the Z sound. Let's study some grammar. We have a couple of entries. Gond art is a tribal art, and they would probably ask you to make it interrogative. How do you go about it? Always look at the auxiliary. The auxiliary is. The auxiliary is. So you use the negative. So is becomes isn't, and you come up with the answer. Isn't Gond art a tribal art? Do not forget the question mark at the end because you just made it interrogative. The full stop will change to a question mark. Another word of caution is sometimes the students go wrong because they use the double auxiliary. So something like isn't Gondard is a tribal art or something like that. Inadvertently, but it does happen. So isn't Gond art a tribal art? And second entry we have is it has been developed and preserved by the Gond tribal people. Here, because of the word by, you know that it's not going to be active to passive voice, but the other way around. It's the passive voice to be changed to the active voice. So you start after the word by. So the answer will be the Gond tribal people have developed and preserved it. Notice that the question had the auxiliary has because the pronoun used was it. Now when we are talking about the Gond tribal people, we are talking about plural, and that's why we use have. So it's not a rule that has changes to has been and have changes to have been. It depends whether it's singular or plural. Now, if you want to make notes, you can pause the video, but please allow me at the moment to go to the next slide. You can pause the video and resume, of course, when you're ready. Now, this one we will take as a reading challenge. We did that in the previous lecture as well. What is reading challenge? Well, I will read this paragraph and then you can also practice reading it devoid of any errors whatsoever. So try to read this without a single mistake. So give me your 100% undivided attention. I am going to do just that. Gond art has spread mainly in central India. Originally, people used to draw pictures on the earthen walls of their houses. Most folk arts involve natural techniques of preparing colors and use of several mediums. They are transferred from generation to generation in a smoothly flowing process. Gond art is no exception to this. A house decorated with beautiful pictures creates a pleasant atmosphere. Also, art is a medium of recording and preserving what is seen. I have no doubt that you are paying attention and maybe you will also be able to do the reading without any mistake. But here are the things to remember. Originally, not originally. The other thing was houses. We saw that on the last slide where I mentioned that S makes the Z sound. Houses. Then you have the word atmosphere and not atmosphere. Okay, it's atmosphere. Last but not the least, you have record. Guys, there is a difference. When you say record, it's the noun form. So a record, a file, data that is kept is a record. When you use it as a verb, then it is pronounced record. So you record something and then that becomes your record. I repeat, you record something and then it becomes your record. I'm sure that you have understood the whole idea there. Let's continue. There are some meanings to be studied. Earthen, made of baked clay or fine soil. I'm sure you know that art. Pottery, right? Preserve is maintain, keep safe from harm. I'm going to teach you another word here for preserve, which is cherish. I'm sure you knew that, but then it's always good to have better substitutes. Okay, so preserve, you can say keep safe from harm, to maintain, better, cherish. Let's look at some language study entries. We are going to study singular plural. The first one is medium, media. If you see in the paragraph above, they made the use of the plural mediums. But that is also acceptable, but normally one medium becomes many media. I'm sure for the TV, radio, you've seen the use of the word media. So, the next one is process. The word changes to processes, addition of es. Fish, you can see that it either remains fish or changes to fishes. Now, how is that correct? It can either be fish or fishes, right? I'll explain. If you have the same breed of fish, then many still remains fish. But if you have many different breeds in the aquarium, then essentially you say that there are many types of fishes. I hope I made it very clear. I'll say it one more time. If there are many but of the same kind, then the plural of fish remains fish. However, if you're talking about various breeds of them in an aquarium or let's say any place together, then there are many types of fishes, you would say. Then the plural of fish becomes fishes. That's the point to study there. There was another example there, which is datum changing to data. However, the modern day world, you just use data as singular and plural both. However, technicality. Perfect is datum, which is singular. That changes to data as plural. There are some abstract examples as well. For example, radius changes to radii. Then you have formula changing to formulae. Then you have a crisis, a single crisis changing to crisis with SES instead of SIS. There are ways of making the plurals. In grammar, we have 3 entries. The first one is quite simple. Generation to generation, they'll ask you to spot and explain the figures of speech. It's repetition because the word generation has been repeated. The next entry is for identifying the tense. A house decorated with beautiful pictures creates a pleasant atmosphere. It's a very general thing. So whenever something is very general, you can say that it's simple present tense. It's something that is just a general plain statement. Notice how the verb carried that S there. Creates. Very important to study. So it's simple present tense. The third one, art is a medium of recording and preserving what is seen. Use not only but also. Art is a medium of not only recording but also preserving what is seen. So I'm sure you want to make your notes, so you can pause the video, resume when you are ready. At the moment, let me please go to the next slide. Now here you have a beautiful example of Gondar. Now we are going to study it in a little more detail here. In folk arts, you yourself prepare the canvas, the surface on which to draw, and the colors with which you draw. That is why the folk art is a very enriching experience. This richness is reflected in the choice of their medium. Medium uses singular here. In the days of past, several things in nature such as soils of different shades, the juice of plants, leaves, tree bark, flowers, fruits, and even things like coal and cow dung were used to prepare colors. They were natural colors, not synthetic ones. The different colors, various textures and patterns were used year after year. Maybe we'll go and do it on the next slide. However, there is a compound word here, cow dung. Remember, there's a small hyphen there. What do you mean by enrich? It means to improve the quality or value of, to enhance the quality of. The other one is texture, the feel or the appearance of a surface or a substance, this texture. So you can see that the particular shirt that I'm wearing also has some texture. So the particular design, feel or appearance is called the texture. Let's look at the grammar entries. Yourself and yourself. Oh, this is interesting. What's the difference? Ramesh, you should do this yourself. One, singular. So yourself is SELF because it was singular. Now look at the second example. Ramesh and Meenal, you both should do this yourselves, because now the pronoun you was used for both of them, for Ramesh and Meenal, right? So then you both should do it yourselves. Guys, be honest about it. There can be so many who always get confused with this. Yourself and yourselves. So the difference is yourself is used when it is singular and yourselves is when it is plural. So Ramesh, singular. Ramesh, you need to do this yourself. SELF. Ramesh and Meenal, you both need to do it yourselves. Okay, so I have no doubt that you've understood this from the examples provided, and same applies elsewhere as well. So now I have a question for you. Can it ever be itself? Can it be? Or would it always be itself? Yes, I think you got it right. It always will be itself, because I told you it's about singular. It is singular. Something, it. So now, can it ever be themselves? No. It will essentially be themselves, because them is plural. Many, them. Okay, them. So then, if it is more than one, then it's themselves. It cannot be themselves. Okay. So distinction, I hope, is now very clear. The second entry we have is, creating folk art is a very enriching experience. Make it exclamatory. Pardon that the command was not actually given in the bracket there. Now, because you have article, you start with what? What an enriching experience creating folk art is. Do not forget the exclamatory mark at the end. And something very particularly noteworthy about that is how you change the article. In the question, you had the article but then because you are going to use an article that precedes the word enriching, which is with a vowel sound, you cannot say what a enriching. I'm sure you are getting this. What an enriching experience, and then you can continue. Okay, don't forget the exclamatory mark. Pause the video. You need to make your notes. I'll proceed. Yeah, so it was year after year, is it not? In the last slide we saw. So year after year, lending a simplicity to the art. When we see these pictures, we realize that a picture drawn this way or the other can look equally beautiful. What a deep thought this art conveys, and so easily. The word convey is to communicate, transport, or carry. I think communicate is the best meaning here. And as far as grammar is concerned, you have got a couple of entries. First one, what a deep thought this art conveys. Now this one we will have to change from exclamatory to assertive. On the last slide we did the other way around. This art conveys a very deep thought. And you remove the exclamatory, you make it assertive, which is a plain statement. And then you have the adjective forms. Simplicity becomes simple. Art becomes artistic. Thought becomes thoughtful, and easily becomes easy. There is a video on our channel for the adjective forms. Go ahead and search that and watch it. It's a very small video where I have covered the suffixes that you can use to get adjective forms. And boy, you have these wonderful Gond art images here. Beautiful indeed. Look at that peacock image. Then you have these cows, probably the cattle. It's beautiful. Gond art indeed is amazing. What is more amazing is me taking a lesson on arts. Please make your notes. You can pause the video if you want. Please allow me to go to the next one. Let's deal with this one also as a reading challenge paragraph. So give me your 100% undivided attention as I read it. In the Gond style of art, we see that the outlines may vary a little from artist to artist, but the designs that fill it make the whole picture look lively and attractive. The designs include simple textures achieved using dots, straight lines, dotted lines, curvy shapes, and circles. Special attention is given to the choice of various colors so that the total effect is amazing and beautiful. Guys, there's something important here. I'm not sure that you actually caught that whilst I was reading. So what is it? Guys, THE can be pronounced as the and the, but there is a minor rule that governs the pronunciation. If THE precedes a vowel sound, then it's the. Otherwise, it's the. And I bet you should go back into the video and see how I read this. For example, let me take you back to our textbook here. Yes, look at that. I must have read it as, in the Gond style of art, we see that the outlines may vary a little from artist to artist, but the designs, I'm sure that now you know what I'm exactly saying, okay? If there is a vowel sound, then you can pronounce it, you should pronounce it as the. Otherwise, you say the. The other reason why you can pronounce it as the, the, is if you want to emphasize, if you want to put stress, then you say the. So this is the match I was talking about. What did I say? This is the match I was talking about. So no other match. This is the match I was talking about. Then also you make the sound than the sound. Consonant sound, then the. Vowel sound is the. Remember, I didn't say a vowel or a consonant. I said a vowel sound. You know the difference. Vowel is one thing and vowel sound is another. For example, hungry beginning with H. The letter is H, but the word hungry is a consonant sound. But another word that begins with the very same letter H, but if it is HOUR, it becomes hour. Isn't it? A period of 60 minutes. That's a vowel sound, although the starting letter is the same. That is why I said vowel sound, pronounce the, and then if it's a consonant sound, the pronunciation is the. Make sure that you go back and then check it out the way I read it. Let's look at the vocabulary. The word is vary, V-A-R-Y, which means defer. Language study is something interesting. I have an assignment for you. Find this out. Is this word correct? Is this word correct? Lovelily. What do you say about it, huh? Lovelily. So she did this lovelily. Would that be correct, or is there something wrong about it? Do some research. Don't just answer something based on your knowledge that's there, at the moment that you possess. Do some research and then you can leave comments. And that reminds me that there was some homework that that I assigned last time, and I said that I'll give you the answers. One of them was a word in the English language, in the dictionary particularly, that has the maximum entries for meanings. Did you get that? I didn't get the answer for that. So I'm going to share now. The answer is the word set. S-E-T. The word set. You look it up in the dictionary. The moment you open up the word set, you would have the maximum entries for one single word there. There is no other word in the dictionary that has as many interpretations, meanings as the word set. S-E-T. So that's a good trivia, and that's good knowledge to have. Always keep that in mind. Okay. Grammar. We have got a couple of entries. The whole picture looks lively and attractive. Word of caution. Do not write something like the whole picture not only looks. No. Looks is common for lively, and looks is for lively and attractive. The word looks is common for both. Looks lively, looks attractive. So you are going to use the word looks first and then initiate not only. So the answer is the whole picture looks not only lively but also attractive. Should you write something like the whole picture not only looks, there is a chance that half a mark might just get deducted because you did not do it technically perfectly. The next entry, the designs include simple textures. So the word include has been underlined, and they want us to rewrite using the noun form. Well, the noun form of include is inclusion. And so the way you will rephrase it is simple textures are an inclusion in the designs. Now mark this question as very important. Guys, I enjoyed this question actually. Please make sure that you mark this one with an asterisk. It's board's favorite question. The use of same word as a different parts of speech. So this one is important. And remember your homework for this time. Lovelily. Is there a word like that? Lovelily. It's an interesting assignment. Try to find more about it. And remember what I said about the word set. Has the most entries. If you have Oxford Concise Dictionary, well, just look at the word set and you will understand what I mean. No other word has that power. Please allow me to go to the last part of this particular lesson, written by Abha Bhagwat. In today's age of commercialization, many men have taken up Gond art, but the roots of folk arts probably lie in women's daily chores like cleaning and decorating the house, dealing with natural colors in the course of cooking, and in their leisure time activities. Point noted. W-O-M-A-N. W-O-M-A-N. Woman. W-O-M-E-N. Women. Again. W-O-M-A-N. Woman. W-O-M-E-N. Women. The plural. Just imagine the spelling was something like W-I-M-I-N. Women. Okay. That's how you say. Women's daily chores. And that's, I think, something that definitely will be there in the language study. Let's find out more. I'm sure. There you go. C-H-O-R-E is chore. The pronunciation is chore. This is one word where students are a little uncomfortable because it means something in Hindi. Hey, so they feel, how can we say chore? Well, if it is chore, you have to say chore. It's very important. You don't worry about what it means in some other language. So it is chore. CH makes the ch sound. I have dealt with this, I believe, in some of my previous lectures. CH is quite tricky. CH makes the chore sound, the ch sound, as we saw just now. CH makes the sh sound as well, like chandelier. Okay, the chandelier is a decorative piece on the ceiling. Chandelier. CH also makes the k sound, as in chord. In music, I play the keyboards, right? So chords. C-H-O-R-D-S. It's not chords. It's not shards. CH is quite tricky. So this one here is chores. Women's daily chores. Routine. I believe the meaning was there. Did we see that? Now, commercialization was first. Commercialization is managed in a way to make profit, make trade or business out of it is commercialization. Chores we just saw, daily work or routine, but of course tedious task, dull and boring work. Okay. Leisure is another example of something we studied in the last lecture. In English, the confusion is because there are many words where you have E before I, and then there are words where there's I before E. Leisure is E before I. So leisure is free time, time to relax. And there are some grammar entries. In fact, there is just one, and that's also your homework. Find words with a silent M. Guys, find words with silent M. Now, this is a damn interesting assignment. Silent M. A silent P is very easy. You come up with words like psychiatrist, psychology. A silent B, okay, doubt, debt. Silent T, okay, tsunami, depot. Silent M is what I want. Silent M. This is indeed a very interesting assignment. By next lecture. So this was the second homework. What was the first one? This was the second one I gave you. I believe there was one more. Also remember that I received no entries last time, so I hope that I will receive some entries this time. I asked you the word with most entries in the dictionary. Set. I think that's it, guys. We are done with it. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with me. And by the way, there was a lot of demand for the poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. That's coming up in the next lecture. So that's the recording in a couple of days. You'll have that. For the moment, do take care. Study properly. It's the end of the year now, so take your preparations very seriously. And we'll meet again soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.